Jewish rebellion against the Roman occupation is declared over. But Eleazar ben Yair and his family flee the city, vowing that the Judean war is not ended. Eleazar and his followers make their headquarters on top of the mountain fortress of Masada, where they begin to conduct raids on Roman-occupied villages in the south of Palestine. These guerrilla attacks threaten the alleged Roman victory, and the general of the 10th Legion, Flavius Silva, arranges a meeting with Eleazar.
That's what we'll settle for.
I don't doubt it. I think your people would settle for a great deal less.
Yes, but you're talking to me now. You know what I say makes perfect sense. Will you take the terms back with you?
It does make perfect sense.
Returning to Rome, Silva's hopes to implement the truce in Judea are quickly dashed by the Emperor Vespasian.
Caesar, what do they want? A temple. Their own governor. These things they had once. It's my belief that our strategy there has been a mistaken one. What they want is what we should have done in the first place.
It's too late. You can't grant concessions once you've proclaimed a victory. What's left of the opposition must be stamped out. The entire leadership brought here in chains, and the 10th Legion brought out within 6 months.
Silva is sent back to Judea after securing the services of veteran siege commander Rubrius Gallus. Silva is also informed that 2 of his officers are spies for the emperor's political enemy. And while Silva is still in Rome, these 2 men plot to hand over Jewish land to Roman soldiers in exchange for their mustering out pay.
In dispatches, we can call it, reward for acts of bravery.
During a truce.
Oh, the Jews will have broken the truce. They will.
Putting their traitorous plans into effect, the Romans forcibly appropriate the Jewish lands, killing whomever they have to in the process.
Not a centurion, darling. I'm a tribune.
I was born in Egypt. I learned things in Egypt.
I could give you to them afterwards.
You won't.
Among the refugees fleeing to Masada were many of the Essenes, a highly religious Jewish sect.
Truce has been broken. The Roman commander has seized all the farmland of the lower Jordan Valley.
How does it seem to you? We have Vespasian's answer. Now let's give him ours.
Don't drink it.
What's wrong?
Where are your cattle?
I don't keep cattle. I have some sheep. Over there.
Go get them. You can come with us if you want. But if you stay, you'll be thirsty.
What have you done?
You've made your well water fit for the Romans. They take one beast from every herd, slaughter it, then poison the water with the carcass in the entrails.
Still, it's localized. There's nothing wrong with the water north of here.
Yes, but for how long? We seem defenseless against their raids. You saw the courier's report this morning.
That's more than 20 men lost so far.
That suggests we make some attempt to strike back. And the men are going to need double rations of the stream water, otherwise in these... given the Governor Generalship.
And Rubrius Gallus.
Do you know, I had a feeling.
Not in 20 years have I seen ranks stupidity to equal this.
I did what I thought was best at the time. Of that, I'm guilty.
A donkey's epitaph.
There are times when audacity is necessary.
Of 100 parts to a good commander, audacity is one. The smallest and the least important. But you surprised me. I thought you were brighter.
And what are your orders now, sir?
That's the proper response. Well, I'd hoped we had a chance to contact our friend the Zealot before he knew the facts. But the acting general has removed that possibility, along with the possibility of surprise and negotiation. My command decision is made for me. All elements of the Legion to move on Masada.
Bringing his Jewish harlot with him. As if he expected to live forever.
Rather stylish. Pretty thing.
It's an inspiring sight, isn't it?
It's the best thing we'll have to look at for a long time. I've been south before. When do we finish with them? They cloud my thinking. It's untidy.
I have something in mind. Concentrate on Masada.
Actual propagation of children is superior to the method of adoption.
But this is an assumption that I am not immediately prepared to make.
We need 4 more men on the pulley rope.
Let us examine what Gershon of Damascus has to say in connection with the practice of celibacy.
On your feet!
Don't bruise that animal. He's unblemished and consecrated. Bring him back. Eleazar, out there.
Get the rest of those slings in place. We've sighted them. That's right. Bring up the stones. The sacks, too. Hurry.
Aaron, I've been down to the supply bins. Figs, taste it. It's delicious. Must be 100 years old from Herod's time. It still amazes me.
I want those slings covered up with straw so the kettles.
Why? To hide them from the birds? Done.
Look, the first hyenas of spring. Moabites, probably. Cheap wine and friendly women for the soldiers.
They're bright. They've left the best camping sites for the Romans.
Goodwill is the most important feature of any business.
They're the only ones that'll profit from all of this.
Sometime in my life, I wouldn't mind being like them. Having no stake in how a battle comes out. My friends, they're going to wait until morning to come the rest of the way in. That is so we can see their dress parade and be terrified. Romans, they love spectacle. 5,000 men against 900. That is a spectacle. Only this time, the end will be different. They don't know that yet, but the sun will teach them. They must camp down there where a lizard cannot live in summer, and summer is not far off. They must pack in their water from as far north as Jericho. We have water to spare. They will set up their catapults and their scaling ladders. But the angle is too steep for the stones. And an old woman or a small child can push a ladder down. Be proud. Sleep well tonight. Where they march is where we want them to be.
Impressive.
Impossible.
Exactly. Which is why I sent for you.
Nobody can do the impossible, that's what the word means.
I've seen you do it.
We'll see.
No sign of activity. Maybe they decided not to hold.
They're here. Let's make it official.
Trumpets and colors to the front!
Within range here, and not just cow-dung range.
What about our catapults?
It's a difficult angle. Any stone we shoot up there becomes a weapon for them. We become their armorers.
What is it?
Flavia Silva's come back.
The ground you occupy is the property and territory of the Emperor, Senate, and people of Rome. In their name, I order you to depart from it.
The ground you occupy was given as promise to the children of Israel by Almighty God, King of the universe and Lord of mankind. Since time began, he has punished anyone who trespassed on his children's land. I have warned you once, and one warning is all that he allows. You have sentenced yourself and your soldiers to death.
Formalities are over. Let's get to work.
Standing orders. The Governor General has decreed that maximum military discipline will be maintained. We are under the eyes of the enemy and will behave ourselves accordingly. Full armor, including breastplate and helmet, will be worn during all duty hours. Water rations will be limited to 3 canteens per day, drawn at sunrise, at noon, and at sunset. As regarding the body of water immediately to the south of the camp, the surgeons advise that due to the unnaturally high salt content, it is fit neither for drinking nor for bathing. Consequently, troops are to regard the area as out of bounds. Any infractions of the above regulations will result in immediate and severe punishment, up to and including the death penalty. May the gods preserve our emperor!
Notice they are surrounding us.
I know.
They have 3 camps already set up on the other side.
They must think we want to get out of here. Have you noticed? We have an audience.
The watch reports that the children are actually playing. Otherwise, he says there is no activity whatsoever. About half a dozen males on guard in the watchtower, some in the field, some tending their animals. Scarcely any adults to be seen. Most likely keeping to the shady areas.
Very sensible. Have our watch do likewise for the rest of the day. Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
General, what do you make of that report?
Well, I'm not sure that I make anything of it, sir.
Quite so. It's obvious we must have a closer reconnaissance. We must test their defenses.
A closer reconnaissance?
Under cover of darkness, we must send a scouting patrol up that serpentine path on the east side of the mountain.
With your pardon, sir, I can't send men up there. It would be nothing short of suicidal.
I think what the Governor General has in mind is 2 officers.
Is this in the nature of an honorable exit?
I've already explained the purpose of the patrol.
No. I won't do it.
It's obvious Vespasian knows.
There's nothing for him to know.
The senior tribune is correct. The Governor General makes it possible for your families to inherit. You have the opportunity to avoid the humiliation and discomfort of death by strangulation. I strongly advise that you take it.
You've had a better than ordinary career. This way, you can leave a statue behind. What exactly are you, Tribune?
Sir, I'm the imperial spy, as opposed to the senatorial spy, or I was. The Emperor has decided to do away with the practice in this case. He wants you to feel that you have his complete confidence.
That will be a great comfort to me in the days to come. Dismissed.
What sort of a staff have you gathered round you? You better send him on that patrol, too.
No. That's quite enough for one day. Unless you have something to tell me.
What?
Governor. About the girl. Her name is Shiva. Yes? Favor for a favor. Keep her. I hadn't thought of it. She is quite out of the ordinary. If it weren't for the job on your hands, I might almost envy you.
Long live... It's not necessary.
Where are they? I see them.
Should we let them come all the way up? Take them alive?
If he'd send them up this way, what kind of hostages could they be? Maybe he's testing our marksmanship.
This is no test.
Prove it.
He likes his comfort. Send the armor to his family in Neapolis. Give the clothes away.
There is one other item, sir.
I'm aware of that. See what Prodata's left.
Yes, sir.
It's Shiva, isn't it?
Correct.
You're being addressed by the Governor General.
Thank you. I know.
He wants you to stand up.
Do you?
I spend too much time in this country to expect manners from a Jew of either sex. Keep receipts. In fact, I'll join you. Now, as regards you, this is somewhat ticklish.
I don't want to be the slightest cause for trouble. I can be out of here as soon as you give the order.
Yes, and you wouldn't last half the morning out there by yourself. That would be murder.
Surely you can spare 3 or 4 soldiers.
I could spare them, but you couldn't handle them. And the ones that had to stay behind would be even less happy with their lot than they are now. A woman like you is generally out of the reach of the private soldier. And once they had a taste of the officer's privilege, I'm afraid they just want more. The truth is, I'm not sure I have the right to let you go. In a sense, you're as much a part of the man's legacy as his helmet.
Then I belong to his heirs.
Yesterday, he made me one of his heirs. You'll be kept here for the time being, under guard and under my protection.
Then I can expect to be sent for.
You can expect to be alive this time tomorrow, and for that you should thank your God and your late protector. Don't bother to get up. May I?
There's only one way to do this.
Go on.
We have to build an assault ramp up against this western side.
With what material?
We can't wait for shipments. You see the ridge over there? We have to bring a large part of that over here and up against that.
Can we do it in the time we have?
With luck. But it's a terrifying amount of work.
You're terrified?
Always, when luck is a factor.
Send the priest to me! Now!
This animal offered for sacrifice was born when the moon was in the most favorable of 16 zones, into which the Etruscan fathers divided the sky. Its liver had no suspect spots. There is no foreign matter present. All omens are favorable for the campaign you are about to begin, for the greater glory of Rome and the emperor who leads the destiny of the empire!
What are they doing now?
Making sure none of their gods is unhappy.
The goat god must be unhappy, though.
Romans don't worship animals. They pray to gods made in their own image. A very convenient host of them. Unlike your people, who have only one.
The fool saith in his heart there is no God.
If it came to Solomon's notice, think how many must have been saying it. And that was 1,000 years ago. Were they all fools?
They're not a rare species.
And you think I'm one of them?
I remember my husband almost throwing a man out of his house when he suggested that God might be only a convenience of the priests. And that was not so long ago.
Well, not so long ago, I had a brother. We had a temple. Not so long ago, there weren't Romans throwing children into fires.
When the temple was destroyed, we all wondered why God would allow such a thing. But wondering isn't the same as doubt.
Miriam, I saw it fall. I saw the veil ripped away from the inner chambers so they could drag the slaughtered pigs over the altar. If there is a God, maybe he's already gone over to the Romans.
I love you. And I know you still believe.
Today we begin the final task of the 10th Legion in Judea. With these stones, we pave the road home. Number 3. Up. 4. Up.
I think I begin to see what they're trying to do.
Keeping busy. Romans always build when they don't know what else to do with themselves.
I know what they're up to, the idiots. What? They think they can breach our walls if they get their catapults to a higher level.
Well, could they?
Only if we let them.
Keep moving, keep moving. taking it quietly, aren't they?
Exactly how long do we have to wait? Another week? I like to watch them work, don't you?
I'm going to send a detail out to those vagrants and buy you some wine. Now, if we continue at this pace, I'm going to... Now!
Try to return their fire!
should have anticipated.
Rubbish.
Now, he knows how to wait. That's his genius. To make us think all he had was manure. Why so soon? Why not destroy 4 or 5 weeks' work, 2 months? You're over-anxious, perhaps? You're not all that sure of your people? You had to give them a tiny victory. Enjoy it. All officers to me.
"14 dead, a few horses, 10 mules, the pens held for the most part. One of the larger water stations was demolished. A detail has set out for Engedi for more.
I want a permanent observation post on the high ridge. 3 shifts a day. If we're surprised again, all 3 shifts will answer for it.
Yes, sir.
The camp will be rebuilt immediately. You now know the range. Keep the front line well out of it. Dismissed.
And I'll try and think of an alternative plan by morning.
There is no alternative.
Well, I doubt if they'll run out of rocks very soon.
I want 2 squadrons of cavalry with 4 days' provisions, mounted and ready to leave in 1 hour.
You'll have them, sir. May I
A
ask?
foraging expedition, we'll call it. You will command it. Find the chief armorer and have him report to me.
The chief armorer, sir, is dead.
Then there is a new chief armorer, whether he knows it or not. There is a way. It's not complicated, and it gets your ramp built. Is the need so obvious you can see it in my face? Idiots. They've set the tent ropes too tight.
What stars are those?
That constellation is called Kima, I think. Why?
Does it make a difference?
Not to me, but I told her you knew everything. You see?
You're Shimon's oldest daughter, right?
Next to the youngest, Keturah. I have 3 older sisters and a brother.
I used to know everything. That's where we should be.
And why aren't we?
Because we're lazy, wicked men. A bad example for this child. And that one.
So my father tells me.
Take the young lady back to her mother and join us in there.
You're serious?
Yes, I'm serious. You too. Go get the others. I think they would like it if we acted like Jews.
You don't have to apologize for praying.
Only to you. I would ask God about Flavius Silva. If I could truly believe again in a God that would answer me. I would ask him what he's going to do next, so I could do something first, just for a change.
You've done exactly the right thing every time. And to do that is to do God's bidding. I know he's there. And he knows he's there. You have other things to think about.
But it would be very comforting if I also knew he was there.
As a certainty.
As a reasonable assumption. I've made you angry again.
No, not angry. Confused. Frustrated. All right, yes, angry.
You want me to lie to you?
I want you to help me to understand you. To understand this.
I've never kept anything from you.
But I thought you were fighting. We were all fighting. Because we wouldn't accept any master before God. But if you don't really believe in God, then what difference does it make? Why must we live up here like animals in a tree? Why do you keep at it?
I suppose somebody has to carry on the family business.
That's no answer.
All right, then. Whether or not I truly believe in God, I do believe one thing. No man should be another man's slave. Behave yourselves.
Nazar Ben Yair and the others lead us in a psalm of thanksgiving.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, because his mercy endureth forever. I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a high place.
All nations compassed me about, but in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them.
They compass me about like bees. They are quenched by the fire of the thorns. In the name of the Lord, I will destroy them.
They compassed me about, yea, but in the name of the Lord I will destroy them.
O Israel, trust thou in the Lord. He is our help and our shield.
Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me?
labor is always a chancy business. I had to get a canal dug in Livonia once, and I mishandled the bloody thing. I lost 500 men in a week before I could resolve the problem. Believe it or not, it's a question of morale. Now, the situation here is trickier than usual because these 2,000 are not born slaves. They're soft city types. A few farmers here and there, but flabby for the most part. Now, a man like that, you can work for 8 hours without food and about 6 without water. But the next day he's useless. Useless. Too tired to eat when you get around to feeding him. So, what's the answer? You feed and water him on the job. No more than he needs. But remember, he's at his best when there's a reward in sight. Now, the largest effective workforce we can use at any one time is about 200. Once the walls are finished and we can concentrate on the filling-in process, we'll be able to use 100 or so more, probably in 4-hour shifts. Now, that means that for most of the time, a lot of them will do nothing but sit around, so they'll need covering from the sun. Finally, whipping. Now, we must expect to lose about 5 men a day from whipping. More than that, we can't afford to lose. And we have got to make the guards understand that over-whipping is worse than no whipping. Because if the death rate goes too high, we won't have enough men left when the time comes that we need them all. The time when the equipment has to be hauled up that ramp. But we can keep the death rate down by rotating the guards more often. The shortest way to put it is this. Treat them decently, and they'll do very nicely.
Does he want it? No, he just wanted to say he was sorry for not thinking about it sooner. Looks good.
Everything in here looks good. Out. Compliments of the Governor General.
remember her? Do you remember her? I miss her very much. I didn't drink this way, not even in the field, when I could count on coming back to her. And I cannot keep drinking this way now.
My dear love, I wish to leave you this side of death while we both breathe and sense the life of the other, while even our thoughts are in harmony, although you are far away. You and I have shared everything, but most especially loneliness. But I want this death of mine to take loneliness with me and leave love behind. In fact, this is my last request. One who is dying begs you to live, not in memory, but in flesh. Find joy and comfort. That will be my memorial. My reward will be if you always pronounce the name Livia with affection.
Your Excellency.
Yes. I did send for you because I've come to a decision about your status here.
Yes?
I will do you the courtesy of not being coy. The situation has thrown us together. I'm a man who does not thrive on solitude. Consequently, we are going to be spending a certain amount of time together. I've already explained why it would be impractical to let you go just now. To be honest, I'm not sure I would if I could. Those are the conditions in a nutshell. I hope I can make it reasonably pleasant for you. Is all that clear?
Seems clear enough.
If it was only that I wanted, there are more than 20 whores in those striped tents.
That I misunderstood. Forgive me. Exactly what do you want?
A certain civility, a human exchange. You're an Alexandrian, unless I'm mistaken. I thought you would understand that sort of thing.
Alexandria is where I was born. I'm a Jew.
That's all too obvious. What is it about you people that never fails to make me feel like a disapproving dowager? You're all I used to hate about surly children.
I apologize for all of us. What now?
Now you may oblige me by getting dressed. I don't mean to downgrade your beauty. Will you take some wine?
Thank you, I won't.
No doubt you don't trust it.
You sent for me so that we might have some polite conversation?
Don't patronize me!
You are the commander.
So I am. That's why I did send for you. But how could you know that? I'm sorry. From time to time, it would be helpful if I felt there was someone I could talk to freely. That's important. If you could speak freely, I'd be grateful for that. Well, not all at once. You'll have to come to trust me a little. Just a sip.
May I speak freely? It's ghastly.
Well, I suppose it's not a drink for women. And that's you and my late wife. She wasn't fond of it either. The sculptor never saw her, except in death. But he captured the softness. Your voice is not unlike hers. As for the rest, Livia would admit it. You're more beautiful. Yeah. I'm an unhappy widower. That is rare, I believe.
What was the cause?
Yeah. Began as a huskiness in the way she spoke, and then, when she was sure, she decided to take her own life. She put it rather prettily in the letter she sent me. I have arranged to take a vessel to Capri. I have specified the journey must be made at night. I want to look down at the stars reflected in the sea and join them. I try not to look at stars anymore.
It must be very painful.
You see, what I could always count on with her was that when we came together, it was much her desire as mine, sometimes even more so. And I became used to that, and it spoiled the other for me.
Would you like me to go?
She wrote that letter 3 years ago.
You haven't answered my question.
They have to be killed, so why are we bothering to discuss it?
No! It is impossible.
No, it's not impossible, Rabbi. That I can demonstrate immediately.
No! Have you looked? In 3 days, only 3 days.
What choice do we have? They're gonna die anyway.
So it makes no difference who kills them, huh?
Just as it makes no difference who kills you. It makes no difference to me.
Why should it? Before this war, you were a murderer, a thief, a spoiler of women.
Elazar, you better say something. We kill no more Jews.
Then what do we do?
Come with me. To begin with, we empty the dirt out of this pond.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Truly, I don't.
We will fight them now with the two weapons we have, our brains. And that sun.
By order of His Excellency, from sundown today, the water ration will be reduced to 1/2 its present amount. Now this must be done in order to keep the prisoners alive, so that they can be used to complete the task we have been assigned. May the gods preserve the Emperor.
Pick that up. That's right. Keep moving.
I didn't see you take that off. So put it back on.
I can't breathe with it on.
I can. If I can, you can.
I'm not a freak and you are!
I didn't hear that. Put it on.
Well, can you hear this?
There's only one detail around here that calls for no armor. And you just drawn it!
Everyone! You're relieved.
Swimming. They're swimming up there.
In sweat, you mean? Like us?
No. Stop the work and you'll hear them.
Stop work! Everybody!
Get them back to work.
Get back to work!
All you! Back to work! Back to work! Back to work!
It was an arranged marriage. Part of an agreement between my father and those who own the threshing floor. In spite of that, when we came to Jericho and he met us at the gate, I liked him. I liked him all of that first day. All through the wedding. All through the feast.
What went wrong?
The Jews of Alexandria don't take certain things as seriously as the Jews of Judea.
Such as what?
Such as virginity. I had loved the man before, I thought. This Matthias couldn't forgive it. He wanted to whip me.
What stopped him?
I told him I would kill him one night in his sleep if he did. Not right away. I might wait maybe a year, maybe 2 years. He believed it.
Was he right to believe it?
No. Go to sleep, Your Excellency.
This young animal of an unblemished white was chosen from others because it bleated when a flock of birds crossed the sky at sunrise. The organs are sound. There is no foreign matter present. All omens continue favorable for this campaign, for the greater glory of Rome and the Emperor!
Burning. Always burning something.
My father says they burn the heart, liver, and kidneys of a goat so that their god of war can smell the smoke.
What kind of god likes burning goat's liver?
That's the way they tell fortunes.
When will you be slaughtering next?
Tomorrow, a very fat ram.
I have a small favor to ask you.
Behind the tower, the battering ram. That means 2 sets of pulleys. 400 Jews pulling the tower, another 100 pulling the ram. Then the ram is hoisted up here into the tower. So.
Oh, excuse me.
It's all right. It's all right. Come in. How will you build a tower?
Well, we'll raise it on blocks. Leave room for the axles underneath.
No. I want you to build it lying on its side. I don't want this tower raised until the day the ramp is ready. Build it behind the ridge. Any step we can take to keep information from him is worth taking.
Nothing much you could do about it, even if you knew.
We won't give him that chance. The schedule.
We're keeping to it.
It goes well, then?
Yes, it goes very well.
What does that mean?
Keeping that woman, it makes for envy. In these conditions, you could have a mutiny on your hands. Well, we've been through a lot together. And I thought you should know my mind.
I do. I wish I didn't.
Even so.
Even so. I don't wish to discuss it again. Anything I can get you here?
I wouldn't refuse a light snowfall.
I can't breathe.
Decurion! Surgeon!
Come. Put him there.
Just grabbed his gut. Says he can't breathe.
Did he get his water ration this morning?
Well, yes, he got it.
And he lost it playing dice, didn't he? Didn't you, you imbecile? When you see the men dicing for water rations, I want you to stop them from now on. Chew on this. Eat it all. Wash it down. What are you staring at?
I'm starting to get the same kind of pains, and
The next ration is at noon.
Lost your sense of smell, Alizar?
Don't speak ill of your profession. Your water here, it looks stale.
I just filled these vats this morning.
It's noon. They're drawing their ration down below. Don't you think it's time to empty them?
Ah. Amos.
Get back! Back to work! Friends of the 10th Legion, good afternoon. It seemed to us you didn't have enough water down there. It is the custom of our country to share what we have with strangers. And yet I shouldn't call you strangers. In the past few weeks, we've gotten to feel that we know you very well. In the night, when a full belly makes it difficult to sleep, we worry about you. Sometimes the children have had dreams. My son dreams that one day he will look over these ramparts and see 5,000 skeletons in armor.
Load the map. Unload those catapults out!
Eno! 1,000 years ago, there were 2 cities near the Dead Sea. They were called Sodom and Gomorrah. You would have felt right at home in either of them. But it was decreed that they should be punished for their evil and perversion. So there came a storm of stinging dust to warn the righteous to flee, and a withering fire from heaven which consumed the 2 cities. That stinging dust and that fire return to this cursed land every year. No doubt you have been enjoying the balmy spring weather of the region, but I'm sorry to say that the true summer is growing closer, and nothing that stands where you stand will live to see the autumn.
Reload! Move! Move! Stop firing! I said stop firing!
Ah, the autumn. Truly a time to be here. When the breezes are cool and the wadis run with fresh rainwater. But before those rains come, the death I speak of will visit all of you. When the heat begins to press, you will have to dig holes in the earth to put your heads in so you can breathe. If you are a short man, your death will be a little easier, since your heart will probably burst before the fluid begins to boil and explodes through your skin. You have been ordered to die this death. Who would give such an order? When the great patriarch Noah had planted his vineyard, the adversary of God, whom we call Satan, tricked him into sacrificing 4 animals and pouring their blood upon the earth of the vineyard. These were a lamb, a lion, a pig, and a monkey. Ever since then, the drunkard has been this way. The first sips of wine leave him as a lamb. A little more, and he is a lion, a man of purpose, who makes decisions and is not to be challenged. But a drunkard never stops as a lion. he drinks again and becomes as a pig, squirming in the muck. And at the end, he is a monkey, screaming and swinging from limb to limb, his empty head untroubled by the truth. We have heard how Caligula made a senator of his favorite horse. And we see that Rome has not changed. Has not Vespasian unchained his pet monkey and made him governor general of Judea? Friends of the 10th Legion, will you truly sacrifice your lives because a monkey wants to scamper up this mountain on a pile of your rotting corpses? Back to work! Now! Get to work! Fast!
How long can they keep it up?
Talking, you mean?
I mean the water.
Well, it rains every year here, just as you said. They can keep it up longer than we've got.
Put that down, I'm not amused.
Sorry. He's quite something, isn't he?
He's a leader and he's doing the only thing he can. That speech wasn't for Romans to hear, it was for Jews, and they'll be the only ones fooled by it.
Still, the Romans heard it.
It changes nothing.
Then why does it upset you so?
Because I despise waste. And every day we spend in this campaign is a day we might spend bringing peace and order to this country, and because I know he knows that. And to feed his little boy's ambition, he deliberately hides the truth from his own people.
The truth? What is the truth?
That we cannot lose Shiva.
And would you call this winning? The first thought that came to me out there was that I hoped Eleazar would be merciful and let you live after you surrendered. I would miss you, I thought.
Every now and again, this woman forgets herself. Every now and again, this woman fails to remember that she benefits from the mercy of a man who has the power to turn her over to 5,000 overheated animals whose attention she surely would not outlive. Would she enjoy that prospect?
No, she would not enjoy it. But it wouldn't surprise her.
Get out of here. Vespasian's monkey.